Hello and welcome to Elecspo. Right, I've been rooting around the loft and I've dug out an old copy of Football Manager 2011. The game is 10 years old now, coming out at a time when I was just a sweaty teenager sat up all night in my room playing endless hours of Football Manager. 10 years on, not much has changed. I'm just not a teenager anymore and I'm not quite as sweaty. But what I've done is simulated a game on FM11 all the way to the current day to the end of the 2020-21 season. First things first, there's been no global pandemics, that's good, but what I'm going to do is look at every current Premier League manager and see where they ended up in this Football Manager 2011 simulation. Quick spoiler, a lot of them don't even exist anymore. But without further ado, my name's James and this is where every current Premier League manager ends up in 2021 according to FM 2011. Miguel Arteta, an unemployed coach. Yes, Miguel Arteta is not the Arsenal manager in 2021 according to a 10-year-old version of Football Manager. That's simply because he never even made it to Arsenal in his career. He left Everton in 2015 to join Roda, who are, I want to say, a Dutch club? Aye. So he ended his career there in 2019, or 2018 rather. He's morphed into a coach, but he's never had a Pep Guardiola figure to work under. Guardiola doesn't even know who he is nowadays, so there's no process to trust in. Arteta didn't get to be the assistant at Man City, he therefore didn't get given the Arsenal job far too early, and he's just a coach waiting for someone to pick him up. So far, no one's gone near him. Dean Smith, Swansea City. I like Dean Smith, he's doing a great job at Aston Villa, but 10 years ago I don't think I really knew who he was. Well, on FM 2011 in the year 2021, he's Swansea manager, who are in the no, they're not in the Championship, sorry, they're in League One. So Dean Smith is a League One manager. His career has taken him across Great Britain. Started out at Walsall in 2010, which is where this simulation started. He went to Swindon in 2015, and he's been the Swansea boss for nearly 4 years. But he's never made it to the Premier League, so at least things are doing better in reality for Dean Smith. Graham Potter, nowhere. Seriously, just type his name into this tiny little search bar here, no results found. On the 30th of May 2021, there is no Graham Potter to be seen anywhere in the game. There's a few Potters, there's Alfie Potter, there's Brian Potter, who is apparently a goalkeeping coach at Hamilton, not the guy from Phoenix Knights. Craig Potter, Darren Potter, George Potter, Jimmy Potter, Joe Potter, John Potter, Kevin Potter, Luke Potter, Matt Potter, Terry Potter. Christ, there's probably even a Harry Potter. But there is no Graham Potter. So for all the XG fans out there, unfortunately, there is no disciple for you to worship. What a weird thing to say. The disciples weren't worshipped, they worshipped Jesus. Why are we getting religious? Let's move on. Sean Dyche, nowhere. Okay, so I wasn't really surprised that there was no Graham Potter in FM11, but now there's no Sean Dyche either. That's because he hadn't started his managerial career when the game came out, and it just hasn't happened for him. I mean, to be fair, now the pubs are open, Dyche'd probably rather be sat there than actually managing Burnley. He'd much rather sit in the pub, say he looks like Glenn Whelan or he looks like Ed Sheeran, than telling Chris Wood how to score goals. Not that Chris Wood needs to know how to score goals, the man's an absolute machine. Thomas Tuchel, Schalke. He's the man who's transformed Chelsea this season. He got them the FA Cup final where they were beaten by Leicester, and he's got a Champions League final on his way. But on FM 2011 and 2021, he's still in Germany, having just become the Schalke manager 6 months ago. He did manage Atletico Madrid for 4 years, well, 3.5 years. And that's the biggest club he's managed. I mean, Atletico Madrid, he made it to he was in the Champions League. Did he win anything? Third in La Liga. Doesn't look like he won any trophies. No, but that's fine. He's at Schalke, who are 8th in the Bundesliga, so it's not going too well, but I mean better than in reality where they've just been relegated. And Thomas Tuchel is the lucky man who gets to manage Freddie Adu. Yes, Freddie Adu is, I was going to say, the FM legend is still going strong, but I mean he's been quite bad here in this simulation. But it cost £1 million. In fact, he's doing alright at Schalke, he's just been crap everywhere else he's been. In the future, we're going to do some videos on some FM legends. We're going to do some good stuff using FM11 because some of the things that have happened in this simulation are fantastic. But more on them in the coming weeks and months. Roy Hodgson, nowhere. Right, that's 3 managers who are nowhere to be seen. And for Roy Hodgson's sake, I'm quite happy because the man needs to retire. Roy, just sit at home, put your feet up, have a cup of tea and watch Tipping Point, watch The Chase, watch Pointless, watch all the quizzes. Just stop managing, man. If you want to go out, get your free bus pass, head to the shops. Management, it just must be stressing you out so much, man. A man of your age doesn't need that kind of grief. Carlo Ancelotti, Spain. While he's got a face like a smacked arse at Everton because his team just have absolutely crumbled in the second half of the season, on FM11 he's the Spain manager. Carlo Ancelotti still getting huge jobs in world football. Throughout this simulation he has been at Chelsea, Real Madrid where he was there for 7 years, and now he's the Spain manager getting the job after the 2020 Euros, which happened on time in this game because, as I was saying, there was no COVID. The lucky devils. I mean, I don't know who was lucky. This is a fake game. But anyway, Ancelotti, the Spain manager. As for Everton, things are going quite well for them, to be honest, but we'll do them in another video. Scott Parker, an unemployed coach. While he's the man who's taken Fulham down in the Premier League this season, despite getting applauded by literally everyone, Scott Parker, he can't get a job on Football Manager 2011. Quickly back to reality, why does Scott Parker get so much praise, considering he's a man who barely got Fulham promoted last season? And in the Premier League, he's been relegated. They weren't really that close to going to survival. I mean, they had a few good patches, but in the grand scheme of things, they were pretty crap. His career ended in 2021 at Queen's Park. Christ, he was playing for a long time. I mean, Scott Parker always had an engine, but Christ, imagine if he was still playing today. I mean, I know he was only playing in Scotland for Queen's Park, but I mean, he was still doing all right. Either way, he's a coach who hasn't got a job, meaning the closest we're getting to him to Mountain Streets lyrics is if you can just get tickets to the Brixton Academy gig that's coming up. Marcelo Bielsa, nowhere to be seen. Yes, in 2021, Marcelo Bielsa provides no results found. I mean, the man's an absolute genius. Perhaps in 2021 in this simulation, he's got a bucket company. That's probably, let's say that's what he's doing. He's selling buckets. And absolute pearls of wisdom from behind the till. Brendan Rodgers, St Johnstone manager. In reality, Brendan Rodgers has just won his first major trophy in English football. He's one of the best managers in the Premier League today with Leicester. On FM11, he's managing St Johnstone, a team who are pretty underwhelming. I mean, look at the team. He's got Declan Rudd. That's the only name that's sticking out. Declan Rudd. An average goalkeeper who... he's got a youth cap for England at least. Well done him. And he is the crowning achievement of Brendan Rodgers' team. There's no... I mean, Christ, where on earth is Jamie Vardy in this game? I mean, Brendan Rodgers just not really going very well. Let's have a look at his career. Start the simulation at Swansea and he was sacked in the first season, and it's just got worse and worse ever since. Plymouth, Scunthorpe, who's got a rude word in the team name, and St Johnstone. I mean, he's been there for 3 years, so maybe he's enjoying life in Scotland. I was going to say it beats Plymouth, but to be honest, I've never ever been to Plymouth. I did once play a football team from Plymouth, and they were quite strange. They were good though. They were very, very good. They did beat us, but never mind. We move on. Jurgen Klopp, Chelsea manager. Right, whilst in reality he's the king at Anfield who won the Premier League and the Champions League, on FM 2011, Jurgen Klopp is the Chelsea manager. It's his first real venture outside of Germany. He managed Dortmund, then Wolfsburg, then Leverkusen, and in 2020 March, Jurgen Klopp got the Chelsea job. And unfortunately, his first season hasn't gone particularly well. Knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Europa League, and they only finished 8th in the Premier League, which has left Jurgen Klopp clinging onto his job already. And the highest fee he spent was 16 million quid on John Joe Shelby. Maybe that's where you're going wrong, Jurgen. Pep Guardiola, Barcelona. Yes, while he's the man who could be on the brink of being the man to deliver the Champions League to Manchester City at the end of a remarkable season in England, Guardiola is still Barcelona manager in this Football Manager simulation. He's been there since 2008. There's been no move to Bayern Munich, there's been no move to Manchester City. Pep Guardiola is just living it up at Barcelona with a team full of some legendary names, to be honest with you. Kerrison, Mark Muniesa, James Milner, Bojan's there. Lionel Messi's not even the best player. That goes to Alejandro, whoever he is. He's a regen, it doesn't matter. I thought it might have been just some rogue name who for some reason was good. They've even got Antoine Griezmann. even in this FM simulation, they still signed him. And it looks like he's been just as crap. That's a lie, actually. He scored 10 goals. I mean, that's probably about what he's got in reality, isn't it? But Pep Guardiola, still at Barcelona. Still bald, probably, but that's fine. Men of his age, the women kind of love that look, don't they? I hope I'm not bald and I'm that age. We move on. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, nowhere. Don't really know what to say here. Type in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you type in Ole, you type in Gunnar, you type in Solskjaer. You type in the baby-faced assassin. There's no Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on this game anymore. Just a bit sad, isn't it? We'll move on. I need to stop saying we'll move on, it's getting repetitive. Steve Bruce, Tottenham. I mean, as it stands, there is a vacancy at Tottenham, so maybe this could be a sign of things to come. Maybe Tottenham should hire Steve Bruce. I mean, according to the media, he's doing such a wonderful job at Newcastle, getting them survival with all the talent they've got. He'd be perfect for Tottenham. Harry Kane could learn a tour thing from Steve Bruce. I mean, to be fair, things aren't going great for Tottenham in this simulation. I mean, Steve Bruce, let's have a look at his career. He started this simulation as Sunderland boss. Spent a few years at Sunderland, went to Birmingham, went to Blackpool, and now he's at Tottenham. I mean, that just kind of says all you need to know about Tottenham in this simulation. In fact, I'll take it all back, because Steve Bruce won an FA Cup as Tottenham manager. Newcastle fans, you don't know how lucky you are to have this man as your manager. He won a Community Shield as well. He's an absolute genius. Well done, Steve. Put your cabbages away, lads. Paul Heckingbottom, nowhere. I mean, considering he's just the caretaker manager at Sheffield United, I'm not really sure how he still got that job. It's no surprise that Paul Heckingbottom isn't on Football Manager 2011, 10 years into the future. Ralph Hasenhuttl, nowhere to be seen. I mean, considering 10 years ago he was managing the deep dark depths of German football, or just not the Bundesliga to be honest with you, it's no surprise that there's no Ralph Hasenhuttl to be seen on FM 2011. When you bang Ralph into the search bar, all you've got are 6 men, none of whom are manager of Southampton in the year 2021 reality. There was more chance of having Ralph bloody Wiggum or another famous Ralph. Any other famous Ralph? Anyone? Let me know in the comments below if you've got any other famous Ralphs. Anyway, whether it's Wiggum or Hasenhuttl, they are not the Southampton manager, and they are not on FM 2011. Ryan Mason, Cardiff City. Okay, so right now he's currently the Spurs manager as they look for a permanent replacement to Jose Mourinho, but on FM in 2011, Ryan Mason is still a player. I mean, that horrific injury, I think he had it playing against Chelsea when he was at Hull. That hasn't happened on this FM game, so by 2021, Ryan Mason's still going. I mean, he's barely playing any football. He's currently at Cardiff, where the best he's managed is 10 league games. It's not really going very well at all. I mean, in comparison to reality, I think he's better off being the Spurs manager. In the simulation, Ryan Mason didn't even make a single first team appearance for Spurs. I mean, at least he did that in reality. Sure, his career didn't go quite as he intended to, but at least he's made it as a manager already at the age of 29. Well, he's kind of made it, at least he's won a few games. But on FM in 10 years' time, Ryan Mason is a mid-table championship midfielder who can't get anywhere near the Cardiff starting 11. Sam Allardyce, nowhere to be seen. Who knows what happened to Sam Allardyce, to be honest with you, whether he's been stung by another Telegraph investigation or he's just drowning in a pool of red wine. Sam Allardyce is nowhere on FM 2011. David Moyes, Scotland manager. I mean, this is kind of realistic, isn't it? I mean, there's been no West Ham resurgence for David Moyes, but he just seems like a good fit for Scotland manager. Let's have a look at how his career did go. Obviously, Everton manager up until 2014 here. There was no Man United nightmare where he replaced Sir Alex Ferguson. He ended up going to Tottenham where he spent just shy of 5 years, and then he went on to become Scotland manager. He hasn't really had any joy just yet as Scotland manager. He won the Four Associations tournament, which doesn't really sound too reputable, but at least he won it. Well done, David Moyes. I'm sure they had an open top bus around Glasgow and Aberdeen and Dunfermline and all the other places in Scotland that care about football. And finally, Nuno, nowhere to be seen. To be honest with you, I'm really disappointed with how many managers here are nowhere to be seen. I think that's 9 that just aren't even on the game at all. Nuno Espirito Santo, a man who was part of Jose Mourinho's Porto winning Champions League side in 2004, was it 2004 or 2003? It doesn't matter. Either way, he is not on this game. I mean, there's been no Portuguese revolution at Wolves. There's been no George Mendes clients rocking him at Molyneux. There's been no Jota, no Neves, no Moutinho. All they've got is football manager icon Stephen Fletcher. I mean, look at the amount of goals he scored. They're lucky he didn't go to Real Madrid like he normally does on FM. Right, so there we have it. That is where every current Premier League manager is in 2021 according to FM 2011. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo. And until next time, we will see you around.